I swear this film is so unpredictable and really unlike any film I've seen in a very long time. I got a lot to cover with this film, so let's jump into my review of the new film, Disappear Completely. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel today for another review, and today we're going to be reviewing the film Disappear Completely, which made its world premiere at Fantastic Fest 2022. Now, this film does a really fantastic job in keeping you interested in this very mixing bowl of genres that it explores. From this crime thriller aspect of it, there's also a little bit of a drama aspect to it. And then there's a horror supernatural element to it as well. And I think every single one of these genres, as it all stored into one pot to put into this film, I think it keeps you guessing the entire time. And the really interesting thing about it is that, like, you're also invested into the developments equally, because, you know, a film that comes to mind is like Saw, which was like, you had this investigative side to it, and then you also had this, you know, this horror element in terms of like torture and all that other sorts of stuff, that you were just wondering what was going to be the next device, how was the next game going to be played out. You didn't really care about the facts until the ultimate twist was at the end. It was like this connected that, that. But this film, I think you kind of are interested in everything. You're interested in the relationship at home, you're interested into his obsession with his job, you're interested into the clock that he's up against, because Santiago, played by Harold Torres, is the best crime photographer in all of Mexico City, and he's good at his job. He's so good at his job, he neglects everything else around him, including his wife. And because sort of the nature of the job has made him numb to show feelings to his wife, but also makes him overly qualified to see and experience anything that could be on any given night. And one night he intercepts a call, and although the police were like, "Hey, this ain't your scene, buddy. You got to lay off of this one," he decides to proceed. And after that, he took home more than he ever could imagine, because he sort of been carrying now a host of a curse, a witch curse, which in this curse is slowly but surely started to take away his senses. And it goes from him losing his smell, then his taste, then his touch. And then he realizes, like, oh, this is real. This is real. And having his wife at home with him, who was his number one supporter throughout all the neglect, is trying to figure out how to help him. But, you know, their relationship ain't all that good. And time is ticking to the point that, well, look at the title. Hopefully that doesn't happen to him. Because that's sort of, when it sort of comes down to it, or when all your senses are gone, then what's next? And that's what the realistic fact in nature in what Santiago has to endure here. So, you know, what's cool about this film is that the supernatural element is done really well. The moment you start to see things and the atmospheric horror starts to build, it's done super good that you're uneasy the entire time. And then I think, especially people with a Mexican background, maybe even a Latino background, when you're starting to get down into the streets of Mexico, when you're starting to explore witches and you know, just that street level corruption that's going on, and all sorts of like rituals that are happening, and understanding how curses and all that stuff works, and how that's like really embedded into the culture. That's a really prominent element to this film that, for me, by way of friends, knowing that, like, oh, this is like real. This is things that you grew up on, that you heard about, that you know, and you've seen, you may even experience. So you have that, and then you have the crime element. Then you got this guy who isn't really a likely character, yet you feel bad for anybody who, well, loses their smell. You know, that could be, I mean, losing their taste could be just the result of COVID-19, but then you lose your touch, and then what? You lose your hearing, then you lose your vision, and you're just like, wow, like this poor guy, you know? and he's trying to figure out what's all going on. So for me, I thought this film did a really good job of being loud when it needed to be and being completely silent when it needed to be, which makes you completely uneasy. It's a very unsettling film that keeps you guessing, that you really don't know what's coming one after the next, because as you expect the developments of this curse to occur, the fashion of how it does is still kind of like, it's kind of wild. And I think there's a surrealism to it too. I think, you know, when people who wake up one day and their vision's gone, that's like a really surrealistic horror that this guy knows is coming. And it's the same thing as hearing. When one moment your hearing could be there, the next moment it's not, you know. And what does that world look like to him? But yeah, it's a curse, and there's a supernatural element to it. And it's just a lot of different things that, you know, we're as we go on this adventure with Santiago, who really didn't leave a good taste in our mouth from his interactions with his wife, his just reluctance to listen at times, to ultimately play stupid games, get stupid prizes, and then he gets those stupid prizes. It's just like, oh man, I kind of feel bad for him. You know what I mean? So I just really enjoyed this film because it just did a lot of good things. The good atmospheric horror, very chilling, like very chilling moments, moments of just unpredictability, to the point that, like, again, when the film needed to be loud, it was excellent. When the film needed to be silent, and it still was completely scary. So hey, check this one out. This is one of my favorite films this year at Fantastic Fest. Definitely keep an eye out for its release. And when you do check it out, jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about it. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon. Big gold bell.